Welcome back into Inside High School Sports here on ESPN Chattanooga 95.3. Today we have a special guest for you. He is the head basketball coach for the Sale Creek boys basketball team. He is in his second year as a head coach. They last year were 12-18, 4-2 in the district. Right now, though, much better, 8-3. Best start in program history, ranked 17th in the state with the battle at the Creek Holiday Tournament coming up this weekend. Joining us now is Mr. Daniel Moore. Coach, welcome in. How are you been?
Hey, great, G. Thanks for having me on. Love you guys.
Well, I'm glad. I appreciate the kind words. Always good to have you on. Always good to chop it up with you. I'm glad we get a chance to do a little video element on here as well. But let's talk a little bit about last year compared to this year. Now, obviously, last year, your first year at Sale Creek, you're kind of getting your feet wet. You're trying to figure things out. So what's the biggest difference that you have found between last year and this year for you personally?
For me, wow, great question. For me, it's really totally about the culture and knowing that my role is not so much calling the right plays or making sure I always have the right guys on the court, which when I first came into the role, I thought that that's what it was all about. But the truth of the matter is my main job is to teach character and to create a culture where these guys are just having fun. And once they're having fun and they're bought in, which they've completely bought into what we're doing. I mean, you can see the results. And so the play calling and stuff, yeah, that's important, but it's definitely secondary to creating the right culture.
Now, how has that culture changed this year from last year? Obviously, we mentioned it was a little bit of a tough year last time we talked. Yeah. Last year, you guys were 2-12, much different than where you're at right now. So how has that culture and the talent really changed from last year to this year?
Yeah, so it took these guys realizing that it wasn't, they weren't who they believed they were. They had to learn how to compete, and they did, and then they learned how to win because that comes with competing. And now winning is the expectation. Give you an idea, 2-12 last year at this time, after we came back from Christmas breaks, really where we started, the light switch went off and we started really kicking. I mean, we won 10 games after the break. Made it to the district championship, made it to the region semifinals. But the big thing is when we first started winning after Christmas break, we go in the locker room and you would have thought we just won the NBA championship. You know, water's flying, Powerade everywhere, everybody's jumping up and down. It's nuts. You know, everybody's having a blast. And what they realized is, hey, we can do this. You know, we are good enough to be able to compete and win. And so then we kept winning and we kept competing. And every game that we were in, we were there, even if we lost. And now when we win, we go in the locker room and yeah, it's still great. We're still fist bumping and hugging and we're having a good time, but it's the expectation, not the exception. And it's a whole different culture. Now these guys know, hey, every time we walk on the court, we're going to win. There's nobody that we're going to walk out on that is we're going to lose no matter what. It's going to be a fight all the way to the end. And so here they are, 100% bought in. And big difference in 2-12, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Daniel Moore, again, hanging out with us here, Sale Creek head boys basketball coach on Inside High School Sports. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the makeup of this year's team. Give me some players to watch. I know you'd mentioned to me there's 2 kids on your team right now who are currently heavily getting recruited, and that's Jackson Moore, your guard, and then your power forward, Bennett Wilson.
Yeah, just we have, I call them the 4 horsemen. We have 4 guys who are just, I mean, they're relentless. Anybody who goes up against them, you're going to have to pick and choose who you're going to guard. And whichever one you pick, the other guy's going to kill you. That's Jackson, like you mentioned. He is leading the state in assists, and he has for 2 years now. He's just a great point guard, a very unselfish player, a high percentage shooter, but he's not going to always be the one taking the shot. You got Bennett. That dude's just a monster. It doesn't matter if I play him inside or outside. He's playing downhill, and he's playing with passion. He'll definitely be playing at the next level just because he loves it. And because he loves it so much, he's become a leader on this team and picking everybody up. And whether he's got the most points or not, it doesn't matter because he knows what this is all about. And then you got Kyrie Escobar. Kyrie can be filled into the point guard position at any time. He's a killer from the outside when he attacks the rim. And then my big guy is actually Dallas Billingsley. Big red hair, you can't miss him out on the court. He's fluffing around like a bush, but he's a killer on the boards. And anytime he's on the court, you have to make a decision whether you're going to let him have it or if you're going to go for one of the other guys. And the 4 of them together, man, I mean, they're pretty unstoppable. It's special.
All right, who are some guys that are coming off the bench for you that are playing big minutes, role player type guys that maybe don't get as much shine, but you know as well as I do that their importance, usually doesn't felt by the stat sheet. It's about, like if you're watching as a trained eye as a basketball person.
Yeah, gee, that has been the big part of what this year is all about. I mean, a lot of our success are the guys you're talking about right now. There's a few of them. And, during the off season, these are the guys who put in all the work. They didn't miss any of the spring ball. They were at every summer camp they could be at. They were putting in the personal development across the board. And now we're pretty deep off the bench, whereas before it was you had your top guys and then you had a huge gap between them and what's coming off the bench. But now we're getting more consistent off the bench. Those guys, Evan Higgins, he's probably the fastest guy I have on this team, and he will give me everything he's got when he's on the court for defense, offense. He's great. And right behind him is Jackson Freeman. Jackson's a sophomore. He didn't start playing basketball until 2 years ago, but I don't think there's anybody on this team who has given as much effort as that guy has during the offseason. He wants it. And he gets out there every game, every practice. I mean, I'm not even looking over my shoulder. I'm sure he's the one attacking the basket the hardest right now. You got Braden Mooneyham. You got a really big. We have a 6'4" guy who just came into our program, and he's buying in. Rylan, James, and we just have a lot. Khalil Escobar, which is the younger brother of Kyrie, he's another big guy that we have. That I'll be honest with you, last year probably ranked him number 10 out of 10, and this year he started a couple games. I mean, that's just the depth and the work that these guys have put in to become who they are. So my bench is pretty solid, and I'm proud of them.
Hanging out with Daniel Moore, the Sale Creek boys basketball coach, who are here with us on Inside High School Sports. All right, so talk me through the beginning of this year. What's it meant to that, your community there at Sale Creek and the school, and personally for you to get off to the best start in program history that you guys have gotten off to?
Yeah, there's nothing better, than I had no idea, because I grew up, I played at Temple, and we were used to being in the state every year, and I had no idea how special it is to be in a small community. And Sale Creek is an amazing place, incredible. I hope I'm never anywhere else. It's just incredible. But the administration here, Dr. Welch, Mr. Green, and Dr. Shipley, they really had a vision for the athletic program, that Sale Creek didn't need to just be Sale Creek, everybody's easy win in any sport anymore. And so years ago, they started a vision of changing that over. They brought in some amazing coaches. Our girls coaches, Coach Holland, he's doing an incredible job with the girls. He's a first-year coach as well. Football program, Coach Fitzgerald came in. Coach Cox had built up a good thing, and then Fitzgerald came in and took it and ran with it. Our volleyball team just won its first state title in history. We 101 years old, and we've never had a state title, and there it is. And so we're proud of them. That was this year. Yeah, shout out to them. But these guys here, they walk into the school, and they're not just average Joes. They walk into the school, and man, they're the elite guys of the school, and the community is just surrounded around it. We pack out this gym. It's sold out just about every game we play now. It's exciting up here. I mean, and these guys have bought into it, and they're feeding off of the energy, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I can't wait to go experience a game out there at Sale Creek for sure. Now, speaking of Sale Creek, you guys are going to be hosting the Battle at the Creek Holiday Tournament this weekend. It's going to start on Saturday. Give me the rundown. You mentioned there's a ton of teams involved. How is it going to work? Is it double elimination? What's the format, and what's it looking like?
Good question. We have 20 teams in this thing. I mean, it's huge. Originally, we had planned, we do it every year. Originally, it was going to run Monday through Wednesday, the 18th through the 20th, but it just got so big. We had to turn about 6 or 7 teams away from playing in it. We had to move it to start on Saturday just to get all the games in. And so it starts off with pool play. So every team will play a couple of games, and that'll rank them where they're going to sit in the pool. Bracket play will actually start on Tuesday. So everybody will play a couple games. They'll be ranked first, second, third, fourth, fifth, in their pool. And then the two pools, Pool A and Pool B, will play down to each other where they hit each other in the championship game. So once you hit the bracket, it's one and done. So you'll play 3 times, and then may the best man win. But, man, we have some really great schools coming in to play in this thing. Ray County, Signal Mountain, of course, we're going to be here. Just a lot. South Pittsburgh's coming. I know he just had the state championship, and the entire football team came and tried out for his basketball team. So who knows what's going to walk in the gym next week when they come. But we're excited. Van Buren's coming in to play some. It's going to be good ball. There's not going to be one game played that's going to be a blowout. It's just going to be good ball.
Beautiful. That's really exciting. I can't wait to see what happens and what comes of that. And it's going to be right there at Sale Creek, as you mentioned. You guys are hosting that Saturday, and then the championship, the semifinal, and the championship run on Wednesday, correct?
Yep, that's right. You got it. Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's going to be great. I mean, great.
Yeah, I'm excited for that tournament. Again, Daniel Moore hanging out with us here on Inside High School Sports. All right, so talk to us a little bit about your upcoming game. You guys do have a game before you play on Saturday. You guys play Dade County. So talk to me a little bit about that game. What do you know about Dade County, and what is it going to take for you guys to be successful in that one?
Let me tell you something. If there's going to be a game I'm going to win, and I'm going to have to be a genius, it's going to be that game. Literally, Coach T was my coach growing up. He's now the coach at Dade County. Dade County's a great school down there. Katie Galloway Burrows is down there now doing the girls program. The guy who taught me how to play basketball, I got to go in there and figure out how to beat him in basketball. So it's going to be pretty hard. But man, watching them and what very talented team, obviously very well coached, and we're going to go down. It's at Dade County too, so that's going to be a challenge as well. They have a little bit different rules than we do. Of course, they have the shot clock. We're not used to playing with the shot clock. But we play fast enough where I don't think that's going to hurt us too bad. But they can shoot the ball, and they're a quick team. They're going to press us. We're going to be ready for that. But that one's going to come down to who pretty much is going to want it more at the end. That's who's going to get that game. So
the mentor
but I will
versus
be outcoached.
the mentee.
I'll go ahead and tell you, he will outcoach me. There's no doubt about it. It's the man.
The mentor versus the mentee. That's going to be a fun game. On my birthday on Friday, so I'm excited about that one for you guys. Yeah, my birthday's on Friday, so we're excited about that. I did want to ask, just to kind of go back in terms of the battle at the Creek. How long has that tournament been going on for you guys? How long has it been running there?
Oh man, this will probably be our 8th or 9th year hosting it. I could be wrong on that because it did exist before I came in. It's never been to this magnitude. We usually just had a few schools that came in. It's so big. In fact, we're having to use Ray County High School as well to host some of the games. It's just 3 courts going to be going at most of the time. But yeah, that tradition started with some players and coaches that were before me that did a great job, and began a tradition here that's hopefully going to continue to grow and carry on. But yeah, it's become one of the largest Christmas tournaments in our area for sure.
Daniel Moore again.
Yeah,
Daniel Moore again, the Sale Creek head boys basketball coach, has been our guest here on Inside High School Sports. Coach, it's been great to get a chance to see you again. Great to catch up, and hopefully you guys can progress in that holiday tournament, and we'll be able to get out there next week sometime.
Oh man, love to see it. And your show is still as incredible as it's always been. You're the man. Just so
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, man. I appreciate the kind words.
Yeah, thank you.